Taste of winter headed back for this weekend across Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. This system's going to be a doozy too. We're going to get maybe between a dusting to a couple inches. We'll take a closer look at that forecast in just a few moments, but I just want to show you the overall track. Right now the storm is in northern Montana, southern portions of Canada, and look how far it's going to go, and look how much snow it's going to also dump across not just Arkansas and Oklahoma, but spreading all the way through the plains, the Ozarks, the Ouachitas, back towards some of the deep south, right into the Appalachians, and then northeast towards the eastern Great Lakes and into New England as well. So this thing has a long ways to go. It's kind of just avoiding Michigan and Indiana at the moment, but we're going to watch some of that snow develop tomorrow for mainly Minnesota, into Iowa, northern portions of Missouri. We'll be dry here tomorrow. Your Friday should be still pretty nice. We had a warm front pass through the past couple of days. We got to the 60s earlier today. That's not too bad for this time of year. But eventually that cold front will arrive by Saturday, knocking us down back towards 30s and eventually 20s going into early Sunday morning. And as it does so, we'll transition some rain showers over to snow, but it's all coming directly from the north. What's interesting is it's actually a quick clipper system that's coming in from the north. It kind of takes a break here in Arkansas as we get some snow bands on Saturday, but as it visits the natural state and throughout much of the south, warm Gulf of Mexico moisture is going to feed right into the low pressure. It's going to spin up a little bit more, strengthen, and then the snowfall totals are really going to ramp up towards our east. But what are we expecting here at home? This is a wide view. The pink color shows you the highest areas where we're talking about the greatest snowfall totals. So maybe between 2 to 4 inches, maybe some of us getting even more. That really includes north central Arkansas, so really from Eureka Springs, eastbound, Mountain Home, Batesville, and then wrapping towards the Mississippi River and kind of exploding as it heads off into Tennessee. The dark blue color shows you maybe it's between a dusting to 2 inches, but up to 2 inches. That includes northwest Arkansas. It also includes much of central Arkansas. Jonesboro also going to be included in this, and extreme northeast Arkansas too. The medium blue color shows you that dusting possible throughout much of Little Rock and to Conway, and then back west on I-40 right through Johnson County and eventually into Fort Smith, Van Buren. We take a little bit closer look at home. Here's the kind of a look also when you look farther south into the River Valley. We have a chance for a dusting. Now, this may change over time. I'll let you know. Winter weather forecasting in the south and in the plains, it's not easy because we've got to wait on how or when we'll transition from rain to snow. The faster we can do it, take all these numbers and add an inch or two. That could be possible. If it takes us a little bit longer for that cold air to really push in, take the amounts and then reduce them a little bit. So there's still some wiggle room on this forecast, and we'll give you more updates. Every night we're going to do a live with you guys and talk about what we're seeing so far. Right now we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and on our app. Of course, on our website too. You can head there as well. But I think in the River Valley, if you live closer to Mount Magazine, Kavanaugh Hill, or even Sugarloaf, we'll have a little bit higher of an amount as well. But it looks like right now, as soon as you get towards Mountainburg, when you're headed up into the Boston Mountains, we'll probably get more of that inch or so, and then maybe even an inch, maybe 2 inches across parts of northwest Arkansas. So we'll be watching this very closely come in by Saturday. Right now, we've got great weather. Of course, we've already had the sunset. We have a few high clouds out there this evening, nothing too crazy. But ahead of this storm system, all these clouds you see in Kansas and Nebraska, South Dakota, they're all going to sit right over us tomorrow. We're not going to get as much sun. We'll probably not hit the 60s tomorrow, too, just because of those extra clouds coming in. But we're really keeping our eye on this low pressure that's right now in parts of Montana and southern Canada. Once it hits that jet stream, which is kind of pointed directly south right now, right towards Arkansas and Oklahoma, it's going to ride that, head south, and that's when we get some of our snow. Right now, you don't see a lot with this storm system. You see a couple snow showers in southern Canada, parts of North Dakota, and then once you head closer to Alberta, Calgary right now. But this thing is going to probably explode and expand once it heads into Arkansas. The air's already cold up here, and so they're only getting, some light snow showers, flurries. But once this thing hits Arkansas, that's where things start to change, and the whole system starts to evolve rather from a clipper to what we call a delta low. And that's when more moisture wraps in, and when you have more moisture, you can wring out more snowflakes. And that's why the East Coast is going to get a lot more snow. Right now, it's just kind of honestly, like a little baby system headed on through. But it won't be so baby-like once it gets towards our neck of the woods. Now, this is coming from the National Weather Service. See this dark blue color. This is a winter storm watch that now includes much of north central Arkansas. It does include Carroll County and Madison County. Does not include Benton or Washington County. It does not include anywhere in the River Valley as well. I think the highest snowfall totals will be hit the Boston Mountains and head kind of east, right into great waterfall territory, Huntsville, Eureka Springs, and then back east towards Mountain Home. Really north central Arkansas, that's where the bullseye of some of the snow is likely to develop. But then we're going to be on the outskirts of everything else, getting some of those lighter accumulations. Tomorrow, no accumulations on the way, just a bunch of clouds. We'll hit some 50s. So tomorrow's our last warm day. Not as warm as today, but still warmer than when we're headed to this weekend. So enjoy those 50s. Let's walk through the forecast, though, this weekend. Before we go through it completely, there's going to be several changes as we get closer to the date, Saturday. So tomorrow, even in the morning, meteorologist Tyler Moore will have an updated map looking at snowfall totals. Come in the afternoon, we'll update them again. We'll just keep on updating as we fine-tune this forecast. Right now, it's light accumulations expected across mainly western Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma, with the heaviest towards our east, but we'll have to see. We'll watch that cold front drop in from the north, and we'll change from rain over to snow. Today's forecast, it kind of looks like it may take just place a little bit sooner. We'll have to see, though, with temperatures right around freezing. Some folks, for example, you could be in Fort Smith getting one thing, and then you head east towards Alma, you could be getting something completely different. So there's some wiggle room on this forecast, but eventually throughout your day on Saturday, we'll transition over from rain to this pink color is a little bit of sleet. We're not thinking so much in terms of freezing rain, so ice itself is not really in the forecast as much. Now, if you get snow and then it melts and it refreezes, then of course you got some ice, but we're not really expecting freezing rain, but that's good news for us. But then throughout the day on Saturday, as we continue to get colder, we're mainly going to experience these light snow showers that continue to wrap up the rest of the day. The heavier snow, this darker blue and almost kind of purplish color, that's going to be just towards our east. North central Arkansas, northeast Arkansas, that's where the heaviest precipitation is going to take place. We're on the outskirts, so we're going to get mainly light snow, but we'll get it for a few hours, and that's why we have the chance to try to get at least some accumulation. So I think we got a good chance as we head past sunset. This is Saturday, 7:30. Once we get towards midnight, most of the snow should try to wrap up for us, but then it may get really cold as we have sunset take place in central and eastern Arkansas. That's when we have a good chance to try to increase the snowfall totals back towards the Mississippi River. This is 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday. Hopefully we're asleep. But things are going to be pushing on out, and we should dry out heading into Sunday morning. However, if things kind of hit the roads and then overall they melt over time, and then overnight into early Sunday morning, we have temperatures in those 20s, there will be some refreezing. So please be on the lookout when you're headed to maybe get breakfast with your family Sunday morning, headed to some church services. There could be some slick roads. So that's the number one thing we're really concerned about for this weekend, because once we make that transition over to snow, it'll take the roads some time. For the first hour or two of the snow, the roads should probably be okay, because most of the snowflakes will hit the road and then probably melt, especially if we got some of that rain earlier. The problem, though, with the roads will be, and we're going to be talking with RDOT. We already talked with RDOT a little bit earlier today. They're planning on treating the roads no matter what, but the problem with the forecast is that we'll start over with rain, start first with rain, and that makes it harder to treat. That may reduce some of the effectiveness of some of the salt, or depending on what they decide to use on the roads for this go-around. But we'll be watching that closely. If it's only light rain, we may still be good, and some of it may still stay intact on the road, whatever they decide to throw on it. But later into the day, the heaviest snow will first accumulate on grassy surfaces, your car, because it's metal, it's able to cool down faster, mailboxes, your roofs. Roads will be probably second to try to snow over, especially side roads, the ones that aren't trafficked as much, less heat from the tires, so we'll watch that for you too. But then the other thing will be some of that refreezing that could take place early into Sunday morning. So we've got a good storm headed our way. It's not the biggest storm. Last year, of course, we had that deep freeze and we got 6 inches both in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We're not expecting anything like that, but we will probably get a nice accumulating snow, one that at least tries to cover ground a little bit more in northwest Arkansas, and even a little bit more in the mountains and some higher terrain areas. But until then, enjoy the 50s we got tomorrow. Mostly cloudy. We're probably not going to see much sun. If you do see the sun, it would be in the morning, and then we'll watch temperatures drop on Saturday. That 38 takes place earlier in the morning. Throughout the day, we'll watch that temperature drop. So the high is going to be early in the morning, and then we'll get colder throughout the day. Overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning, that's when we have 20s in the forecast. And that's where we watch out for some of that refreezing. In the River Valley, we'll get to the upper 50s. There's a shot we try to hit 60, but we won't be as warm as we were today. We hit about 66, 67. It felt really warm out there. You know, a 60 in January feels very different than a 60 in June. Anyways, cold front comes in Saturday morning, dropping us from the 40s for the first part of the day, right around sunrise, back down to 30s as we head towards lunchtime in the afternoon, and that's when we'll make that transition over to snow. Sunday, we have a 20% chance just because, you know, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, technically that's Sunday, there's that chance for a few more flurries flying around. But I think as we're waking up on Sunday, most of the flurries should be just about over, headed east. Maybe Clarksville has a couple left over, but then we'll push those on out. We've got great weather headed in to Martin Luther King Day. We'll shoot back into the 50s. So anything that does fall and accumulate will melt. So hopefully this helps. We're going to hop on every evening as we get closer to this event to let you know what we're expecting. Not a crazy, crippling winter storm for us, but some of those winter weather we've had so far this season.